Hello, welcome to Exclam Chess. And in this video, I'm going to be going over a game that a player on chess.com asked me to take a look at. Okay, so this is from a 10-minute blitz game. So let's go ahead and get right into it. d4, d5, and c3. So right here, this move is a slightly passive opening move, because if you're playing as the white pieces, you have the first move. You should be trying to take advantage of that as much as possible. And a move like c3 isn't challenging the center or developing a piece. So maybe a better move would have been knight to f3, or maybe playing the pawn to c4. Okay, knight to f6, queen to a4 check. So this move brings the queen out too early. Usually you don't know where the queen wants to go until most of the other pieces like the bishops and knights have been developed. And then once they've taken up good squares, in most of the cases, then you can find a good square for your queen. Okay, c6, knight d2, e6, g3, bishop to e7, and bishop h3. I don't know if this bishop needs to be on h3. I think that if we go back and we may put this bishop on g2, I think that this would be a better place for the bishop, because it's on the long diagonal, the longest one on the board. And also, after something like maybe the black king castles, then white can play e4, and then he gets a big center, and then he's doing pretty okay. In the game, bishop to h3 was played, and then black went ahead and castled. Knight g2, f3, h6, castles, bishop to d7, and knight to b3. So I don't really like this move, because it kind of blocks the queen's retreat diagonal, or the best place for the queen to be. Maybe a better move would have been like queen c2 or queen b3 instead of playing the knight to b3, because this bishop has these discoveries lined up on this diagonal, and I don't really like that. And a move like queen to b3 or queen to c2 would maybe help to play c4 next move possibly, and maybe then white would have some say in the center, and that might be pretty good for him. Okay, but in the game, knight to b3 is played. And then here, the best move for black probably would have been c5, trying to take advantage of this discovery, and then putting pressure on the center. In the game, he played b5. And here, the player of the white pieces wrote in to me that his queen was trapped, he thought. And this queen actually isn't necessarily trapped, because the queen can go to a5. And so this was a blitz game. And so maybe that's part of why he didn't realize that he had this option, trying to think quickly. You only have a few minutes for an entire game. And so if he would have played queen to a5, and then maybe after an exchange of queens, then he's not doing so bad. And it'll be a pretty even game. In the game, he didn't realize this move wasn't available to him, and played queen to a3, and then lost his queen for the bishop. Unfortunately, not realizing that queen to a5 was an option. Okay, but from this game, I feel like there were a few good teaching points, and here's actually where I'm going to stop looking at this game because black has a queen for a bishop, and so it wouldn't be very hard for anyone or most people to win this game. But there are a few good teaching points for the player. Is that try to not bring your queen out so early, because usually she can become an object of attack. And also try to play a little bit more actively in the beginning of the game. If you have the white pieces, you have the first move, try to put a little bit more challenge on your opponent. Play a little bit more aggressively. Okay, so that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.